Lieutenant Sarah Chun had always been different from her fellow Navy SEALs. While her teammates relied on brute force and advanced weaponry, she possessed an extraordinary gift that remained her closely guarded secret. Sarah could communicate with animals through a combination of subtle body language, electromagnetic sensitivity, and an intuitive understanding that bordered on telepathic connection. This ability had saved her life countless times during covert operations, but she had never revealed it to anyone in her unit. The morning sun cast long shadows across the military compound in Afghanistan as Sarah's 8-member SEAL team prepared for what their commanding officer described as a routine reconnaissance mission. The target was a suspected terrorist stronghold nestled in the mountains, where intelligence suggested weapons were being manufactured and stored. Team leader Commander Jake Morrison briefed the squad on their objectives, while Sarah studied the mission parameters, already sensing something was amiss. "Intel shows minimal resistance," Morrison explained, pointing to satellite images displayed on the tactical screen. "We go in, gather information, plant surveillance equipment, and extract. Simple operation." But Sarah noticed the tension in his voice, the way his fingers drummed against his holster. Her instincts, honed by years of reading both human and animal behavior, told her this mission would be anything but simple. As the team conducted final equipment checks, Sarah noticed the base's military working dogs acting strangely. The German Shepherds and Belgian Malinois that typically remained calm and focused were pacing restlessly in their kennels, whimpering softly and refusing their morning meals. Their handler, Sergeant Rodriguez, seemed puzzled by their behavior, but Sarah understood immediately. The dogs sensed danger approaching, something that human intelligence had failed to detect. During the helicopter ride to the drop zone, Sarah sat quietly among her teammates, listening to their casual conversation while her mind raced with concern. Staff Sergeant Mike Torres joked about completing the mission in time for the evening's poker game, while Corpsman David Kim reviewed medical supplies with his characteristic methodical precision. Demolitions expert Tony Russo cleaned his weapon for the third time, a nervous habit that his teammates had learned to recognize. Communications specialist Maria Santos monitored radio frequencies, occasionally sharing updates from base command. The helicopter touched down in a remote valley surrounded by jagged peaks. As the team disembarked and began their approach to the target location, Sarah noticed the complete absence of wildlife in the area. No birds sang in the sparse trees, no insects buzzed through the air, and even the usual mountain rodents were nowhere to be seen. This unnatural silence confirmed her growing suspicions that they were walking into a trap. Moving through the rocky terrain with practiced stealth, the team maintained radio silence while communicating through hand signals. Sarah took point position, using her heightened senses to guide them safely through potential ambush sites. A small pack of wild dogs emerged from behind a cluster of boulders, their eyes locked on the advancing SEAL team. These weren't ordinary strays but hardened survivors of the harsh mountain environment, made dangerous by hunger and territorial instincts. Sarah realized with growing alarm that someone had deliberately starved these animals and positioned them as an early warning system. The lead dog, a scarred and muscular creature with intelligent eyes, approached slowly while the others flanked the team's position. Sarah's teammates immediately raised their weapons, preparing to eliminate the perceived threat, but she held up her hand in the universal signal to halt. The other SEALs watched in amazement as she began making soft clicking sounds with her tongue, a form of communication she had learned from studying canine behavior in various cultures. The wild dog's aggressive stance gradually relaxed, their ears shifting from flattened aggression to curious attention. Through subtle body language and patient persistence, Sarah established a connection with the pack. She sensed their hunger, their fear, and, most importantly, their recent training by human handlers who had used pain and starvation as conditioning tools. These dogs had been turned into unwilling sentries, forced to alert terrorists to approaching military forces. But Sarah also sensed their underlying desire for kindness and proper care, emotions that their harsh treatment had never completely erased. The pack leader, responding to Sarah's gentle approach, began exhibiting behaviors that revealed crucial intelligence about the enemy position. Through careful observation of the dog's movements and reactions, Sarah determined that the terrorist stronghold was heavily fortified with at least 30 fighters, multiple weapon emplacements, and several improvised explosive devices positioned along the most obvious approach routes. The dogs had been witnessing these preparations for weeks, storing every detail in their remarkable memories. As Sarah continued her silent communication with the pack, she realized that these animals could become powerful allies rather than obstacles. Their intimate knowledge of the terrain, combined with their natural stealth and pack coordination, made them ideal scouts for gathering additional intelligence. But first, she needed to earn their complete trust and overcome the conditioning that had been brutally imposed upon them. The other team members remained motionless, recognizing that Sarah had established some form of connection with the wild dogs, but not fully understanding the extent of her communication. Commander Morrison's tactical mind immediately grasped the strategic advantage of having these animals as allies, even if he couldn't explain how Sarah had managed to pacify them so quickly. He made a silent decision to trust his lieutenant's instincts and allow her to continue whatever process she had initiated. Sarah spent the next hour working with the wild dogs, using a combination of gentle hand gestures, soft vocalizations, and patient body language to establish deeper communication. She discovered that the pack consisted of 7 animals, each with distinct personalities and skills developed through their harsh survival experiences. The Alpha, whom she mentally named Scout, possessed exceptional intelligence and had been systematically observing human activities in the area for months. Through careful interaction, Sarah learned that the terrorists had been using food deprivation and electric shock devices to condition the dogs as perimeter guards. The animals had been taught to bark and create disturbances whenever strangers approached, but they had never been properly cared for or shown genuine affection. This cruel treatment had created deep psychological scars, but it had also fostered a strong pack bond and heightened survival instincts that Sarah could utilize. Commander Morrison approached cautiously, keeping his weapon lowered but ready. "Lieutenant Shun, what's your assessment?" he whispered. Sarah's teammates had learned to trust her uncanny ability to read dangerous situations, though none of them suspected the true nature of her gift. They had attributed her success to exceptional training and natural intuition, explanations that Sarah had never corrected. "Sir, these animals have been conditioned as sentries," Sarah reported quietly. "They possess detailed knowledge of enemy positions, patrol patterns, and defensive installations. With proper approach, they could provide intelligence that would save lives and ensure mission success." She paused, watching Scout's ears twitch as the dog monitored their conversation. "They've been mistreated and are hungry, but they're not naturally aggressive toward humans." Staff Sergeant Torres raised an eyebrow. "You're suggesting we trust wild dogs?" His skepticism was evident, but years of successful missions under Sarah's guidance had taught him to respect her judgment. The team had survived countless dangerous situations by following her instincts, even when her reasoning seemed unconventional. Sarah nodded toward Scout, who remained alert but calm in her presence. "These aren't ordinary wild dogs, Sergeant. They've been systematically trained and positioned here for a specific purpose. Their conditioning makes them valuable intelligence assets if we can establish proper communication." She reached into her pack and retrieved a protein bar, breaking it into small pieces and offering them to the pack leader. Scout approached cautiously, sniffing the offered food before accepting it with careful precision. The other dogs watched this interaction intensely, their own hunger evident in their focused attention. Sarah distributed additional food among the pack members, noting how they maintained discipline even in their desperate state. This behavior confirmed her suspicion that their training had been extensive and recent. As the dogs consumed their first proper meal in days, Sarah observed their individual characteristics. A smaller female with distinctive markings showed exceptional stealth capabilities, moving through the rocky terrain with barely a sound. A large male with battle scars demonstrated protective instincts toward the younger pack members. 2 juveniles displayed remarkable speed and agility, while an older female exhibited the careful patience of an experienced survivor. Corpsman Kim monitored the surrounding area while Sarah worked with the animals. Movement detected at 2 o'clock, he reported through hand signals. The team immediately took defensive positions, but The wild dogs showed no signs of alarm. Scout looked in the indicated direction, then back at Sarah with what she interpreted as reassurance. After several minutes of careful observation, Kim reported that the movement had been wind-blown debris rather than human activity. This incident reinforced Sarah's growing confidence in the pack's abilities. Their acute senses and territorial knowledge made them living early warning systems, capable of distinguishing between genuine threats and false alarms. She realized that integrating their capabilities with the team's mission parameters could provide unprecedented tactical advantages. Communications specialist Santos established encrypted contact with Base Command, reporting the team's position and initial reconnaissance findings. Sarah listened to the radio chatter while maintaining her connection with Scout, who seemed to understand that the humans were coordinating their activities. The dog's intelligence impressed her more with each interaction, suggesting capabilities that exceeded typical canine behavior. Base confirms enemy strength estimates, Santos reported quietly. Satellite imagery shows increased activity in the target zone. They're requesting updated intelligence before we proceed. Commander Morrison nodded, recognizing an opportunity to utilize their newfound allies for gathering additional information without exposing his team to unnecessary risks. Sarah proposed a reconnaissance plan that would utilize the dog's natural stealth and territorial knowledge. Scout and 2 other pack members could approach the enemy stronghold undetected, observing defensive positions and patrol patterns while the SEAL team maintained a safe distance. The dog's presence would seem natural to the terrorists, who had been using them as perimeter guards for weeks. Demolitions expert Russo expressed concern about relying on animals for critical intelligence gathering. What if they're spotted and identified as compromised? The whole operation could be blown. His practical mindset focused on controllable variables and measurable risks, making him naturally skeptical of unconventional approaches. Sarah addressed his concerns while continuing to reinforce her bond with Scout. These animals have been living in this area for months. Their presence won't raise suspicions among the enemy forces. They know every hiding place, every patrol route, and every weakness in the defensive perimeter. That knowledge could save all our lives. The pack leader seemed to sense the importance of their discussion, maintaining alert attention while the other dogs settled into protective positions around the team. Sarah noticed how naturally they had adapted their behavior to complement the humans' tactical formation, suggesting an intuitive understanding of military cooperation principles. As the afternoon progressed, Sarah continued building trust with the entire pack while her teammates prepared for the evening's reconnaissance phase. She shared additional food rations, tended to minor injuries on some of the dogs, and gradually established individual connections with each pack member. Their responses convinced her that these animals possessed the intelligence and loyalty necessary for successful cooperation. Commander Morrison made the decision to proceed with Sarah's unconventional plan. His years of experience had taught him to recognize and utilize unexpected advantages, and the strategic value of the dog's intelligence capabilities outweighed the operational risks. He authorized the reconnaissance mission while maintaining standard backup protocols for mission abort if circumstances deteriorated. The sun began setting behind the mountain peaks as Sarah finalized preparations for the evening's activities. Scout and his 2 selected companions showed clear understanding of their assigned role, displaying the focused attention and controlled excitement that she associated with well-trained military working dogs. The other pack members would remain with the SEAL team, providing early warning protection during the reconnaissance phase. Sarah felt a mixture of anticipation and responsibility as she prepared to send the dogs into potential danger. Her unique ability to communicate with animals had always carried emotional weight, creating bonds that transcended typical human-animal relationships. These wild dogs had suffered abuse and neglect, but they were now choosing to trust her leadership and risk their lives for the mission's success. As darkness settled over the mountain terrain, Sarah's carefully selected canine reconnaissance team prepared for their mission. Scout, the pack leader, demonstrated remarkable understanding as Sarah used subtle hand gestures and body language to communicate the reconnaissance objectives. The 2 companion dogs, whom she had mentally named Shadow and Swift based on their distinctive capabilities, positioned themselves flanking Scout in a formation that mirrored military patrol patterns. The SEAL team established an observation post on elevated terrain that provided clear sight lines to the suspected terrorist stronghold while maintaining sufficient distance to avoid detection. Through night vision equipment, they could monitor the dog's progress and provide emergency support if the reconnaissance mission encountered unexpected complications. Commander Morrison coordinated with Base Command, providing regular updates on their unconventional intelligence-gathering approach. Sarah's connection with Scout had evolved beyond basic communication into something approaching tactical partnership. The dog understood that he needed to observe specific targets, count enemy personnel, and identify defensive installations without triggering alarm responses from the terrorist sentries. His intelligence and training made him uniquely qualified for this dangerous assignment. But Sarah felt the weight of responsibility for sending him into harm's way. The three dogs moved through the rocky terrain with ghost-like stealth, utilizing natural cover and approaching the enemy position from multiple angles to avoid establishing a predictable pattern. Their intimate knowledge of the area allowed them to navigate safely through suspected minefield locations and avoid patrol routes that human reconnaissance would have found nearly impossible to detect in darkness. Through her binoculars, Sarah watched Scout approach the main compound while Shadow and Swift flanked the perimeter defenses. The terrorist stronghold consisted of several modified cave systems connected by reinforced tunnels, with weapon emplacements carved into the mountainside, and camouflaged observation posts overlooking the valley approaches. Previous intelligence estimates had significantly underestimated both the enemy's strength and the sophistication of their defensive preparations. Scout paused at the edge of the compound, his body language conveying specific information about enemy activities that Sarah interpreted through their established communication system. The dog's alert posture and focused attention indicated multiple armed sentries, while his careful positioning revealed the locations of hidden weapon caches and communication equipment. This level of detailed intelligence would have required days of dangerous human surveillance to obtain. Staff Sergeant Torres monitored radio frequencies, while Sarah interpreted the dog's reconnaissance findings. Enemy communications are heavily encrypted, he reported quietly. But their transmission patterns suggest coordination with external support networks. This isn't just a local weapons manufacturing operation. His discovery aligned with the intelligence that Scout was providing through his behavioral observations. Shadow, the stealth specialist, had positioned herself near what appeared to be a supply depot carved into the mountainside. Her body language indicated the presence of significant ammunition stores and possibly explosive manufacturing equipment. Sarah noticed the dog's careful avoidance of specific areas, suggesting the presence of booby traps or perimeter security devices that human reconnaissance might have triggered accidentally. Swift, the speed and agility specialist, had circled the compound to observe rear defensive positions and potential escape routes. The young dog's excited but controlled movements indicated multiple vehicle positions and what Sarah interpreted as prepared evacuation protocols. The terrorists had clearly anticipated potential military action and established comprehensive contingency plans for rapid withdrawal. Corpsman Kim provided medical support coordination while monitoring the dog's physical condition through long-range observation equipment. All three animals show normal stress indicators, he reported to Commander Morrison. Their conditioning and natural adaptation to this environment make them ideal for extended surveillance operations. His professional assessment reinforced the tactical value of Sarah's unconventional approach. Communications specialist Santos intercepted fragments of enemy radio traffic that confirmed the dog's intelligence findings, picking up references to increased security measures and supply convoy schedules, she whispered. Enemy strength appears significantly higher than original estimates suggested. The combination of electronic intelligence and canine reconnaissance was providing comprehensive situational awareness that exceeded conventional intelligence gathering capabilities. As the reconnaissance continued, Scout detected something that caused him to exhibit urgent warning behaviors. His body language indicated immediate danger, possibly an approaching patrol or security sweep that could compromise the entire operation. Sarah interpreted his signals and immediately alerted her team to prepare for potential contact with enemy forces. The pack leader's warning proved accurate when a four-man terrorist patrol emerged from a concealed tunnel entrance that previous intelligence had failed to identify. The patrol moved with disciplined precision, suggesting military training and combat experience that elevated the threat level significantly above original mission parameters. Scout and his companions remained motionless in their hiding positions, demonstrating remarkable discipline under pressure. Sarah watched the enemy patrol through her night vision scope, counting personnel and identifying weapons while Scout provided additional intelligence about their movement patterns and communication procedures. The dog's unique perspective allowed them to observe details that human surveillance might have missed, including hand signals, equipment specifications, and coordination protocols that revealed the sophistication of the terrorist organization. Demolitions expert Russo analyzed the compound's defensive structure based on the combined intelligence from electronic surveillance and canine reconnaissance. Multiple hardened positions with overlapping fields of fire, he assessed quietly. Significant explosive manufacturing capability and prepared demolition charges for facility destruction if threatened. His evaluation confirmed the mission's complexity and the need for extensive tactical planning. The terrorist patrol completed their security sweep and returned to the compound through a different route, revealing additional tunnel systems and defensive positions that reinforced the enemy's tactical advantages. Scout observed their withdrawal procedures with intense focus, memorizing details that would prove crucial for planning any future military action against the facility. After 3 hours of intensive surveillance, Sarah decided that the dogs had gathered sufficient intelligence to complete the mission objectives while avoiding unnecessary exposure to enemy detection. She used subtle light signals to communicate withdrawal instructions to Scout, who immediately began coordinating the reconnaissance team's departure with the same precision that had characterized their approach. The three dogs returned to the SEAL team's position using different routes than their original approach, demonstrating advanced tactical thinking and security consciousness that impressed even the experienced military professionals. Their successful intelligence-gathering mission had provided comprehensive information about enemy strength, defensive capabilities, and operational procedures without triggering any security alerts. Commander Morrison compiled the intelligence findings while Sarah debriefed with Scout and his companions, using their established communication system to extract additional details about enemy activities and defensive preparations. The dog's remarkable memory allowed him to provide specific information about personnel counts, weapon types, and facility layouts that would have required multiple human reconnaissance missions to obtain. The combined intelligence picture revealed a terrorist operation significantly more dangerous and well-organized than original estimates had suggested. The facility's defensive capabilities, personnel strength, and explosive manufacturing capacity represented a major threat that required immediate attention from higher military command levels. Sarah's unconventional reconnaissance approach had potentially prevented a disastrous underestimation of enemy capabilities. As the team prepared to withdraw to a safe distance for detailed analysis and reporting, Sarah reflected on the remarkable capabilities that Scout and his companions had demonstrated. Their intelligence, loyalty, and tactical understanding exceeded anything she had previously experienced in her unique career of working with animals in military contexts. These wild dogs had chosen to trust her leadership and risk their lives to support a mission they couldn't fully understand, demonstrating a level of dedication that inspired profound respect. #The revelation, the SEAL team established a secure communication post 3 kilometers from the terrorist stronghold, where Commander Morrison transmitted their intelligence findings to base command through encrypted channels. The comprehensive reconnaissance data painted a picture of enemy capabilities that dramatically exceeded original mission parameters. What had been planned as a simple surveillance operation now required major tactical reassessment and additional resources. Sarah remained with Scout and his pack while her teammates prepared detailed tactical reports. The dogs had settled into protective positions around the team's perimeter, naturally integrating their alert capabilities with human security protocols. Their behavior demonstrated a level of tactical understanding that suggested previous exposure to military operations, raising questions about their background and training history. Base Command responded within an hour, confirming that the intelligence findings necessitated immediate mission escalation. A full company of Special Operations Forces was being deployed to neutralize the terrorist facility, with Sarah's team designated as forward reconnaissance and target designation specialists. The dogs' detailed knowledge of the compound's layout and defensive capabilities would prove crucial for planning the larger operation. During the tactical planning session, Staff Sergeant Torres made an observation that changed everything. "Lieutenant Shun, how exactly are you communicating with these animals?" His question carried no suspicion, only professional curiosity about a capability that had proven tactically valuable. "Your coordination with them exceeds anything I've seen in military working dog operations." Sarah had spent years concealing her unique ability, but the success of their mission and the trust of her teammates created a moment of decision. Her gift had saved lives and completed crucial intelligence gathering that conventional methods could never have achieved. The dog's loyalty and performance had demonstrated the potential for revolutionary advances in military operations. "I have an unusual ability to communicate with animals," Sarah admitted quietly. "It's not telepathy or anything supernatural. It's a combination of enhanced sensory awareness, intuitive understanding of animal behavior, and what seems to be natural electromagnetic sensitivity that allows me to interpret their thoughts and emotions." Her teammates listened with intense attention, processing this revelation in the context of her exceptional service record. Commander Morrison studied Sarah's face, recognizing the significance of her admission. "How long have you possessed this capability?" His tactical mind immediately grasped the strategic implications, while his leadership experience told him that Sarah had chosen to reveal her secret for operational reasons rather than personal ones. "Since childhood," Sarah explained, "I've been able to connect with animals in ways that seem impossible to most people. I joined the military to serve my country, but I've always kept this ability private because I wasn't sure how it would be received or whether it would be considered reliable for military applications." She gestured toward Scout, who remained alert and focused on her words. "Today's mission proved that it can provide tactical advantages that could save lives." Corpsman Kim nodded thoughtfully. "That explains your remarkable success rate in detecting ambushes and avoiding enemy surveillance. You've been reading environmental indicators that the rest of us couldn't perceive." His medical background helped him understand the neurological possibilities underlying Sarah's capabilities without dismissing them as impossible. Communications specialist Santos added her perspective. "I've noticed that you always seem to know when we're being watched or when danger is approaching. If animal behavior is providing early warning information, that could be integrated into our tactical planning protocols." Her technical expertise recognized the practical applications of Sarah's gift for enhancing team survival and mission success. Demolitions expert Russo, initially skeptical, had been converted by the evening's results. "The intelligence these dogs provided tonight probably saved all our lives. If Lieutenant Chun can establish similar cooperation with other animals in different operational environments, it could revolutionize special operations tactics." His practical nature focused on measurable results rather than theoretical explanations. Scouts seemed to sense the importance of their discussion, moving closer to Sarah and exhibiting protective behaviors that emphasized their bond. The other pack members maintained their perimeter watch while clearly monitoring the conversation, demonstrating awareness that exceeded typical animal attention spans. Their responses supported Sarah's claims about enhanced communication capabilities. Commander Morrison made a command decision that reflected both tactical pragmatism and leadership insight. "Lieutenant Shun, your ability has proven tactically valuable and operationally reliable. I'm recommending that this capability be integrated into our unit's special operations protocols, with appropriate security classifications and support systems." He paused, considering the broader implications. This could represent a significant advancement in military intelligence gathering capabilities. The team spent the remainder of the night developing operational procedures that would incorporate Sarah's unique abilities into future missions. Scout and his pack would be relocated to a secure military facility where they could receive proper care while serving as training partners for developing animal cooperation protocols. Their survival skills and loyalty had earned them a place in military service rather than return to harsh mountain conditions. As dawn approached, the advance elements of the larger military operation began arriving in the area. Sarah briefed the incoming Special Operations Commander on the intelligence findings while demonstrating her communication capabilities with the dog pack. The tactical advantages were immediately apparent to experienced military professionals who recognized revolutionary potential when they encountered it. The terrorist compound assault was scheduled for the following evening, utilizing detailed intelligence that Scout and his companions had gathered through their reconnaissance mission. The dogs would guide the attacking forces through safe approach routes while providing real-time updates on enemy activities and defensive responses. Their contribution to the mission's success would be measured in lives saved and objectives achieved. Sarah found herself at the center of a paradigm shift in military thinking about animal cooperation and non-conventional intelligence gathering. Her years of hiding her unique ability had ended, replaced by official recognition and support for developing capabilities that could enhance military effectiveness while reducing casualties in dangerous operations. Scout approached Sarah as she prepared to brief additional military units on their findings. The dog's body language conveyed gratitude and loyalty, but also something deeper that Sarah interpreted as understanding of their shared purpose. These animals had chosen to risk their lives in support of human objectives they couldn't fully comprehend, demonstrating courage and dedication that inspired profound respect. The wild dogs who had been conditioned as terrorist sentries had become allies in the fight against the same forces that had abused them. Their transformation from victims to heroes reflected the power of trust, proper treatment, and recognition of their inherent value as intelligent beings capable of meaningful contribution to important causes. As Sarah reflected on the night's events, she realized that her revelation had created new responsibilities and opportunities that extended far beyond her individual service. Her unique gift could help establish new forms of cooperation between humans and animals in military contexts, potentially saving countless lives while advancing understanding of interspecies communication possibilities. The success of their unconventional approach demonstrated that innovation and adaptation could emerge from unexpected sources when military professionals remained open to new possibilities. Sarah's teammates had accepted her unique capability not because they understood it completely, but because they had witnessed its practical value and recognized her dedication to using it in service of their shared mission. #Heroes United. The assault on the terrorist compound began at sunset, with Sarah's SEAL team providing overwatch and coordination support for the larger Special Operations Force. Scout and two of his most experienced pack members served as guides, leading the attacking units through safe approach routes while avoiding the extensive minefield and booby trap network that the dogs had identified during their reconnaissance mission. Sarah positioned herself with the tactical command post, maintaining communication with Scout through their established signals while coordinating with human unit leaders through conventional radio protocols. The integration of canine intelligence with military operations proceeded smoothly, demonstrating the practical value of interspecies cooperation in combat situations. The terrorist defenders had prepared extensive defensive positions, but their planning had not anticipated the detailed intelligence that the dogs had provided about their capabilities and positioning. The attacking forces bypassed major strongpoints, neutralized key weapon emplacements, and disrupted communication systems with precision that would have been impossible without the comprehensive reconnaissance data. Scout's real-time updates allowed the military commanders to adapt their tactics as the situation developed, avoiding prepared ambush sites while exploiting weaknesses in the defensive perimeter that human surveillance had not detected. The dog's ability to distinguish between armed combatants and potential civilian prisoners proved crucial for minimizing casualties and achieving mission objectives. Within 3 hours, the Special Operations Force had secured the compound with minimal friendly casualties, capturing significant intelligence materials and disrupting a major terrorist weapons manufacturing operation. The success of the mission exceeded all expectations, with post-operation analysis crediting the canine intelligence gathering as the critical factor in achieving comprehensive tactical surprise. The captured terrorist leaders expressed amazement that their carefully planned defenses had been penetrated so easily, unaware that the same animals they had abused and conditioned as perimeter guards had provided the intelligence necessary for their defeat. The irony was not lost on Sarah, who recognized that justice had been served through the courage and loyalty of creatures who had chosen to serve a higher purpose despite their mistreatment. In the aftermath of the successful operation, Scout and his pack received official recognition for their service, becoming the first wild animals formally inducted into military service through a special program designed to acknowledge their contribution. They would receive proper veterinary care, training, and comfortable quarters at a specialized military facility where their unique capabilities could be studied and developed. Sarah's revelation about her communication abilities led to her assignment as the founding director of a new military program focused on animal cooperation and interspecies intelligence gathering. Her unique gift, no longer hidden, became the foundation for developing protocols that could be adapted for use by other military personnel with similar, but perhaps less developed capabilities. The success story spread through military command structures, generating interest from intelligence agencies and special operations units worldwide. Sarah found herself consulting on operations that could benefit from animal cooperation, while Scout and his pack became training partners for developing new tactical approaches that integrated natural animal abilities with human military objectives. Commander Morrison received commendation for his leadership and willingness to embrace unconventional tactics that proved strategically valuable. His decision to trust Sarah's instincts and support her communication with the wild dogs had demonstrated the importance of adaptive leadership and openness to innovation in military operations. The entire SEAL team was recognized for their professionalism and teamwork in executing a mission that redefined operational possibilities. Staff Sergeant Torres, initially skeptical of relying on animal intelligence, became one of the program's strongest advocates after witnessing the tactical advantages firsthand. His practical experience with conventional operations helped him appreciate the unique value that animal cooperation could provide in situations where human capabilities alone were insufficient for mission success. Corpsman Kim's medical expertise proved valuable for developing animal care protocols that ensured the health and welfare of animals serving in military capacities. His understanding of both human and veterinary medicine helped establish standards for animal service members that reflected their value as intelligent beings deserving of respect and proper treatment. Communications specialist Santos worked on developing technical systems that could enhance and support animal communication capabilities, exploring possibilities for electronic interfaces that might amplify natural abilities or provide additional channels for coordination between human and animal team members. Demolitions expert Russo contributed his tactical knowledge to developing specialized training programs that taught animals to identify explosive devices and dangerous materials, potentially saving countless lives in future operations where conventional detection methods might be inadequate or too dangerous for human personnel. The wild dogs adapted to their new military service with remarkable success, demonstrating intelligence and loyalty that exceeded the expectations of even their most supportive advocates. Their transformation from abused and starving animals into honored service members reflected the power of proper treatment and recognition of their inherent value. Scout, in particular, showed exceptional aptitude for advanced training that built upon his natural intelligence and leadership capabilities. His bond with Sarah deepened through continued cooperation, creating a partnership that served as a model for human-animal collaboration in military contexts. Their success inspired research into communication possibilities with other species that might offer unique capabilities for specific operational requirements. The terrorist weapons facility that the dogs had helped neutralize represented only one success in an ongoing campaign against global threats. The intelligence gathering methods that Sarah and Scout had pioneered proved applicable to diverse operational environments, from urban counterterrorism to wilderness survival and rescue operations. Sarah's unique ability, once a closely guarded secret, became a foundation for advancing military science and developing new approaches to challenges that conventional methods could not adequately address. Her courage in revealing her gift had opened possibilities for innovation that could save lives and enhance mission effectiveness across diverse operational contexts. The story of Lieutenant Sarah Chun and Scout the dog became legend within military circles, inspiring a new generation of service members to remain open to unconventional solutions and innovative approaches to complex problems. Their partnership demonstrated that heroism could emerge from unexpected sources when courage, intelligence, and dedication combined in service of noble objectives. The bond between humans and animals, forged through mutual respect and shared purpose, had proven capable of achieving extraordinary results that neither species could have accomplished alone. Their success represented hope for future cooperation that could address challenges requiring the unique capabilities that different forms of intelligence could provide when working together toward common goals. As Sarah looked toward the future of her expanded role and responsibilities, she felt profound gratitude for the trust that Scout and his pack had placed in her leadership. Their willingness to risk their lives for objectives they couldn't fully understand had demonstrated courage and loyalty that inspired her continued dedication to worthy causes and honorable service.